So guys, let me tell you guys the honest truth. The reason why Nigeria is still treating Biafra like trash, like a piece of coin, is because we are yet to have UN-backed international legitimacy. So guys, I want you guys to stay with me to the end of this video, because I'm going to be revealing to you guys so many things. Like I said, it's because we are yet to have UN-backed international legitimacy. That is why Nigerians are treating Biafra anyhow. Yes, that is the bitter truth. That's why you see all these orchestrated insecurities, all this sponsored terrorism in the southeast is calculated, it's deliberate, and it's because we are not yet recognized by the international community. But hear me now. Everything changed the moment the United Nations adopts a resolution on Biafra. Once that resolution passes, and once the UN formally bestows on Biafra the tag of international legitimacy, the game changes forever. Nigeria will no longer have the power to cover our story. They will no longer treat Biafra land like a backyard where anything goes. Every single thing happening here will be under the satellites of the United Nations. Let me break this down for you, because I want you to fully understand what we are talking about here. UN-backed international legitimacy, it means that once the UN Assembly passes a resolution, once they recognize that a people have the right to self-determination, that struggle is no longer local. It becomes what? A global affair. Now, from that moment, Biafra will not be seen as a rebellious region. It will be seen as a nation in waiting, a people recognized by international law, fighting for their freedom and dignity. The moment Biafra gets that political legitimacy, everything shifts overnight. The movement stops being called a local rebellion and becomes a recognized national struggle. World governments, world media, NGOs, and international courts will take us seriously. The CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera will cover every development. Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, and Red Cross will move in with active humanitarian operation. The International Criminal Court and International Court of Justice will open files on Nigerians' crime in Biafra land. Nigeria will lose the monopoly of narrative that will no longer tell the world, oh, it's just local criminals. No, the world will finally see us for who we are, a people fighting for their survival, demanding their dignity, and seeking their freedom. My people, let me shock you guys. The moment Biafra gains UN-backed legitimacy, all the insecurity in the southeast will stop overnight. Do you know why? Because the whole world will now be watching us. Nigeria will not want more violence or chaos in Biafra land, because every report of killing, genocide, or terrorism will spread up the UN process of granting us a referendum. So what does that mean? It means most of the insecurity you see today, most of the killings and sponsored terror, they are artificial. They are deliberately orchestrated to destabilize us. So we won't have a strong case, before the UN. So once legitimacy comes, Biafran land will be protected. Every humanitarian report, every crime report, every insecurity will be documented by the UN. Nigeria will have no hiding place anymore. If even a single person is killed unjustly, it will be used as evidence against them, and this will only fast-track Biafra's freedom. My people, you need to understand this. From international legitimacy to a UN-backed referendum is not far. A few crime reports, a few insecurity reports, a few genocides exposed, a few humanitarian reports filed at the UN. That's all it takes. That's why Nigeria is doing everything possible to shield Biafra from the world. They don't want the world to see us as anything more than a region. But the day the UN recognizes us, that same day, the entire game will completely change. That's why I keep shouting on this my channel. We must intensify lobbying. Every petition, every diplomatic engagement, every connection with global leaders matters, because when that resolution comes, Biafra will no longer be in the shadows. We will finally stand tall, recognized before the world. And that, my people, is the guarantee of freedom. That is it. So that's why I keep saying it here. I keep saying it in this channel every time. We must intensify lobbying. We must intensify lobbying, because these people, one thing I understand is that they don't want us to be known. Nigeria does not want Biafra to be known worldwide, so they are doing everything possible within their best to hide Biafra. They want Biafra to only be seen as a region. Guys, if you know you're doing something at the moment, whether you're cooking or you're doing something, you can just leave it for a moment, for at least 2 minutes, and come and listen to what I have to tell you guys. Or if you can just go and finish doing it, then come back, calm down, and focus and watch this video, because what I'm about to explain will make you understand why the UN's international legitimacy is the final weapon that will lead us towards Biafran's independence. That is it. When the United Nations General Assembly passes a resolution recognizing Biafra's right to self-determination, everything changes instantly. The Biafran struggle transformed from a local rebellion to a recognized liberation movement, a domestic matter to an international legal case, a Nigerian problem to a global human rights issue. This means every government in the world, from Washington to London to Paris, will start addressing Biafra directly. All international courts, NGOs and media houses will be legally obliged to take Biafra's case seriously. The Nigerian government loses its monopoly of power over us, and that's, my people, is when Biafra becomes what? Unstoppable. Nigeria knows that the moment Biafra gets international recognition, everything Abuja has been hiding will be exposed. Let me break this thing down for you guys. Human rights abuses against Biafrans will become UN cases. Military crackdowns will become war crimes investigation. Ethnic profiling will trigger global outrage. That's why Nigeria is fighting tooth and nail to keep Biafra labeled as terrorists and separatists, because they know that the moment we get legitimacy, they lose control. Do you know what happens next, my people? Sanctions, diplomatic isolation, and military pressure. Once the UN recognizes Biafra's right to exist, United States can impose targeted sanctions on Nigeria's leaders, suppressing Biafrans immediately. The European Union can freeze Nigeria's foreign aid and restrict travel. International lenders like the IMF and World Bank will start attaching conditions Nigeria won't like. Suddenly, Abuja will have only two choices: negotiate with Biafra or face total economic suffocation. Now, listen carefully, because I want you guys to really understand what I'm saying here. And I also would love you guys, to drop your comment below and tell me what you really think about this. Now, Nigeria has been hiding under regional protection for decades, using ECOWAS and the African Union to block discussions about Biafra. But with the United Nations legitimacy, ECOWAS loses the power to silence us. The African Union will be compelled to set up a fact-finding mission. The European Union will open channels for direct talks with Biafra representatives. That means Biafra will no longer have to beg Abuja for dialogue. The world itself will demand it. Do you think the world doesn't know the value of Biafra? Think again. China sees the oil, the gas and natural resources. The United States sees a potential military ally in the Gulf of Guinea. Russia sees an opportunity to challenge Western influence in Africa. Once Biafra gains legitimacy, these powers will compete to support us. And do you know what that means? Investment, technology, security guarantees. Biafra becomes a geopolitical gold mine overnight. My brothers and sisters in the diaspora, you are the hidden strength of Biafra. This is all I have to tell you guys. You guys are the hidden strength of Biafra. We have millions of our people in the US, in the UK, in Canada, Germany, South Africa, occupying powerful positions in tech companies, media organizations, government and international bank. Once Biafra becomes legitimized, our diaspora will flood investments $1 billion back home. Hospitals, schools, roads and industries will rise again. Biafra will be rebuilt faster than Singapore. Above everything else, UN legitimacy means one thing: restore dignity. For decades, we have been treated as second-class citizens. Our language, our culture, our identity have been mocked. Our children grow up being confused, wondering if their homeland even exists. But the day Biafra is recognized, our children will grow up with pride. Our elders will breathe with relief, and the world will finally respect the name Biafra. Now, how do we get there? This has been so many questions people have been asking me. How do we really get there? This is what I told them. This is the question every Biafran must ask. The first thing we'll do is strengthen diplomatic ties, reach out to friendly nations. The second thing is document human rights abuses. Every video, every report matters. And the third thing to do is leverage diaspora lobbying power, influence policymakers in the US, the UK and EU. Then unify our voices. No more internal division. Then push the UN resolution. Once that passes, freedom becomes what? Inevitable. My people, this is no longer about talking, this is about acting. Support international campaigns, sign petitions, educate our people, push the movement on every global platform. The day is coming when the flag of Biafra will fly high and the world will stand in recognition. Now, if you believe in Biafra's freedom, I would like you guys, to drop a comment below. UN recognition equals to what? Biafra freedom. So please, I want you to, drop your comment and tell me what you guys really think, because I really love you guys, to drop your comment below and tell me what you guys, really think about this. Biafra must be actualized in Nigeria. Now, let's go on. My brothers and sisters, let us enter the minds of Abuja's elite. Do you know why the Nigerian government panics at the mention of UN recognition? Because it exposes a long list of hidden crimes they have committed since 1967. war crimes during the first Biafran war, starvation and bombing civilians, looting of oil resources from the Niger Delta without accountability, deliberate underdevelopment of the southeast to suppress growth, secret deals with foreign oil companies to keep the east dependent. If Biafran gains legitimacy, all the secrets come out. Retired generals, ex-presidents, top ministers, many will face international prosecution. That's why Abuja is doing everything possible to block international attention on Biafra. Here is what Nigeria doesn't want you to know. Under Article 1 of the UN Charter and Article 20 of the African Charter, every people have the right to self-determination. Once the UN recognizes Biafra, any military action by Nigeria becomes illegal aggression. Any attempt to seize our resources becomes international theft. Any prosecution of Biafrans becomes a crime against humanity. With international legitimacy, Biafra will have the International Court of Justice on its side. And once Abuja realizes this, negotiations becomes what? Inevitable. Now listen carefully, my people. Do you think the world is ignoring us? You are wrong. They are watching silently. Here's the truth. France secretly supported Biafra in 1967 because of oil interests. Israel quietly provided intelligence and aid. The United States is currently monitoring the southeast for strategic positioning. China has made private overtures to pro-Biafran world group. The moment the UN legitimizes Biafra, these countries will openly flood us with investment, military technology, and diplomatic alliances because they all want a stake in the new Biafra economy. Do you know why Nigerian fears Biafra more than anything else? Because they know what happened in 1967 was not a victory, it was a delay. Back then, Nigeria used blockade, starvation and propaganda and foreign manipulation to weaken us. But 2025 is not 1967. Back then, there was no social media. Today, the world sees everything live. Back then, there was no ICC. Today, war crimes are punishable globally. Back then, Biafra stood alone. Today, we have diaspora networks and lobbying power. This time, history will not repeat itself. This time, Biafra wins. For decades, Nigeria used the local media to paint Biafrans as rebels, terrorists, troublemakers. But thanks to international legitimacy, that narrative collapses overnight. The CCM, BBC and Al Jazeera will cover Biafra's story from our perspective. Human rights organizations like Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch will investigate and report truthfully. Global audiences will finally see us not as rebels but as a liberated people. Anyway guys, that's all we have for today. Let me know your thoughts below, and also if you know you're new to this channel, please don't forget to click the subscribe button, like and share, and turn on the notification buttons to be getting all the latest news in this channel. So guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys again in my next video.